I've asked James to join me as well, because James has helped organise quite a few of our competitions recently and fill in some of the gaps. So I'm going to cover two things today. So one is a bit of help on how to run a competition, and the other part is how your beer is judged and why that doesn't necessarily mean that the score you might get is going to be the winning beer. Okay? So what is a competition? I looked up the dictionary definition: a contest in which people take part in order to establish supremacy in certain areas. Right? So the competition has to have a part where you are ranking beers and declaring them. Otherwise, it's just a sort of fun tasting thing, right? So you have to rank them, and you have to declare them. But why would you do that? Okay. So first part is some people like competitions, right? They want to win. They want to be named the best. Other people might run competitions, like a brewery might think, if I run a competition, I'll find a really good recipe I can make, do that, and enliven that piece, and good on them for doing that. Okay. You might run a competition that is just a competition. There was a pan-European competition not too long ago, and there were competitions internally to select the winner to go and represent your country in that competition. And you might do it for prizes, right? The big part with the BJCP is to give feedback, right? So you've got the competition part, but what else are you trying to do? You're going to give feedback. And that feedback can be as little as, you won, well done. It can be a couple of lines. That's particularly common in a brewery-led competition. This was okay, a bit bland or whatever. Or again with the BJCP or the guild or some training feedback, you can get quite detailed feedback, which is, you've had a judge, two judges spend 10 minutes of their time for your entry fee, really looking at your beer and getting that. Why else would you have a competition where you're trying to help people make better beer to get that feedback? With something like the lager competition that we've got coming up, it's partly to inspire people to do something that they wouldn't have done necessarily before. And we've done that with the Belgian competition. We're inspiring people to make something new. You also might just be wanting to train judges or keep them match fit. So we have our big competition at Lab, but we started to have little competitions, and they were timed so that the trainee judges got some experience and could sit down with a BJCP qualified judge and do it. And it might just be a fun thing, right? It's a good thing for the club to do, to come together or do inter-club competitions. So what you need to do if you're going to run a competition is work out which bits of those are you really keen on, right? So where we're focusing on judges, we take a lot more time to judge the beer. We might give all the judges 15 minutes for the lager competition. Because once they judge it, they're going to have a chat with the trainee judge and really help them along. If you've got a 400 beer competition, you're going to try and judge them a bit quicker than that. So if you just think about why you're running it really helps guide what you're doing. So that's the why. When? Well, that's up to you, but please do look at other competitions. You don't want to have two massive competitions in the UK in the same month. They're all going to get the same beers. So the Nationals, the Lab, the Brewcon, we do try and make sure they're spread out throughout the year, but it's totally up to you. But it's really good if you can tie it in with a nice date. So Black Friday, we haven't run this year. Brewcon, they were doing their competitions. But it just gives, if you've got something that links you to a certain date, it just adds that little bit extra. And that might be something like we did one over Lent, where the beers had to be the things that monks used to live on when they were fasting and didn't eat. So Dr. Bob and that type of thing. Or it might be an anniversary, your club's 10 years old, so we'll do something.
I think there's a lot of scope around having more limited style competitions. I mean, you have the National, you have London South East, you have Brewcon here that are big competitions that are wide open to anything you want. I think there's probably a lot more scope at the moment on the smaller sort of 100 or below entry kind of competitions, the more limited styles. And it also makes people, it can be a lot of fun. Black Friday we would get black versions of everything. And I think we'll probably see the same sort of thing around Lager and Life as well. So definitely it gets people to be a bit more creative, I think, as well.
And the only other bit of that timing is think about how much notice you give people. Generally, the more the better. I've got an 11% plus competition in my mind, and I'll give people 2 years notice to do that, because you're going to have to age it and everything. So if you wanted to fill up, you need to give people notice. I'm going to do what again? what else are you going to do? So is it going to be all beers? Or as James said, are you going to restrict it down to certain styles? Are you going to, we've had other competitions where, within the club, where you just say, you can only use these ingredients, right? Or let's clone this beer. So everybody's going to just clone one beer. So just think about that a little bit. Free reign, if you're going to do every style, you're going to get a lot of complexity on the back end because you've got to group them. So you want to start small, start to get some capability and confidence in doing that.
I think the lead time is a really important thing. I mean, we're all probably, I think everybody here is going to be a home brewer. So if you're going to have a competition, you're going to say, oh, everybody's going to enter 3 beers. Think about how long it takes you to make 3 good beers, turn them around, get them conditioned, and then ship them to somebody. You need that, and then a bit of time for people to plan and probably to mess up at some point and have a drain pour beer. So think about that lead time. I think London South East will be 5 months or so normally.
Yeah, yeah.
Competition. So
unless big ones are in the calendar, it's established,
Yeah.
people make it for the nationals before it's announced, right? So who's going to do it? Are you going to? Is it going to be an inter-club thing? Are you going to make it open to everyone? At Lab, you try and make it open to everyone, any country, anyone can enter. Is it going to be an inter-club thing? We've had some little things where we've just done, London, our London club versus a Leeds club in one style. And it starts to relate to how many numbers you've got and that complexity. But also think, who's going to help you do it, right? Because it's more than a one-man job. Do you need staff? You need stewards on the day to ferry beer around. You're going to need a venue. But clearly, you're going to have to think mostly about who's going to judge, right? And I don't know if Sarah was talking, but we've gone from having maybe 30 BJCP judges up to 100 or so now. But you don't have to have a BJCP judge. You don't have to register with the BJCP. It could be your brewers or just the club judging it. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're just really clear up front what type of competition it is. You're going to need a head judge, and you might get some sort of star judges in things like box. Where are you going to do it is another key thing, and this is quite scale dependent, but you're going to get a lot of beer in. Every year at London and South East, try and tell people how much beer they're going to have in their cool store. Every year, about 2 weeks in, they ring up going, how much more beer is coming? And we've got pallets. If you're thinking it's 3 bottles each, and you've got 500 entries, that's 1,500 bottles, and they all come packaged, right? Well, I hope they do. A lot of people turn up just giving their bottles that are all full and the like. That takes up a massive amount. So again, you just got to think about what your facility can cope with. And with scale comes a lot of problems. You're going to have to think about how your beers are going to be dropped off. So if that place is only open an hour a week, it's a bit of a problem. So if you're thinking of doing it at home and you're not in the day and you're getting beer deliveries, you're hiding to nowhere. And then you've got to think about the judging environment as well. So you don't want dark and dingy. You don't want to be next to a kitchen. We've turned up at BJCP exams and the barman's gone, I think I'll start cleaning the lines, and everything starts smelling of bleach. So you have to kind of warn people, we don't want any smells. We're a food truck last year. We sat outside one area and everything was wafting up. And it's sometimes things that you can't control, so you want to think about that. And it needs to be bright, right? You need to see the beers. You need to sort of think a little bit about how you're going to get all of those beers unboxed and out the other end into categories. No one's trying the beer, so you can't pass them out. So you've got the beers are going to come in. You're going to have London and South East 500 beers. You've got to do something with them to get them to the right place. We have something for the festival. That can often for us be 5 or 6 tables. And if you've got a smaller comp, you could do that on
I think that's the organisation sorting out of them into various categories. We do it by basically creating the table that we're going to judge the group of the styles together in advance. But that then means that when we turn up on the day or the day of judging or the day before in some cases, we have to unpack all the bottles and then repack them or resort them into the tables ready to go on, and also potentially label them as well so that they're binded. That takes an awful lot of work. So ideally, if you're going to do a reasonable sized competition, and this is even sort of up to 60 beers, you need a good sized crew of people to just come along for a little while. And they don't need to really know anything about what they're doing. You can just tell them they're going to take the beer, look it up, put it in another box. It just takes a lot longer than you think, especially when London South East again, I think 457 entries turned up this year, which meant we had nearly 1,500 bottles of beer to sort through. So,
and it doesn't look like it's going in 2 hours in. It's like,
oh god, this is never going to end.
All right, a bit more what? So you need a venue. You're going to need tables and chairs. That's the other thing venues never seem to get is you're going to have 40 judges sitting down. We've got a couple of chairs in the corner. You need to be able to sit everyone there. And you're going to have stewards buzzing about, so you've got to be careful. We're really careful at London and South East. We won't put beers down the middle. They've got to be a table against the wall. People are drinking beers. They've only got to knock it. They've got to prize beers in there that are falling over.
And you've got to think, if you're going to have a BJCP judge competition, ideally you want to have it so that you've got room. You need to definitely have room to seat all the judges. They need room in front of them on a table so they can actually write. They will also need a bit of space to have sort of glasses of water and other things on the table, so you're not going to be able to pack everybody in really tightly if that's the situation you want to do. So give them a bit of space.
So you're going to need pencils, paper, simple things. BJCP say don't use wooden pencils because everyone smells wood. So it's the pencils that twist. Again, it's all around smells and the like. You're going to need some glasses. We used to use disposable plastic glasses because they were easy, but the judges hated them. We use ISO wine glasses. If you can't detect a fault in them, you haven't got a fault in your beer. I have a triple at home, and if I drink it out of a triple glass, it tastes brilliant. If I put it in an ISO glass, it tastes oxidized. So you're really able to focus on what those smells for the judges. You're going to need buckets for the bad beer. There's always a couple of gushers. Yeah, we've had caps go up to the roof and showers. Crackers for judges to just clear their palates beforehand. You clear your nose by sniffing your sleeve unless you're wearing a malt sack. And you need a load of rubbish bags to take away. The amount of packaging that we generate when we were at Fort Pure last year, they just go, yeah, just use the bin. Well, an hour in, we filled the bin, and we got 1,500 bottles to come off. So, just it is a scale thing that you've just got to think that through.
Also, tea towels or something else to mop up spilled beer with, because beer is going to get spilled. I can guarantee it at some point.
You need to think about what you're going to charge, so that needs to cover all of your expenses. But just if you are thinking of doing a competition, the CBA, the Craft Brewers Association, it's a big fund. They have money that they can still use to promote homebrew events. They will pay your upfront venue fees. So if you need to pay a couple of £100 for a venue, you can approach them. They'll give you some money for that. You need to choose a name. What was the name we chose for our?
Pale Fire.
We chose Pale Fire, and we got a nice cease and desist letter. It was a nice one. It was come and look round our brewery, but it was all right. So you've got to be a little bit careful with the name. And then you've got to just choose what you're going to accept. So LSE, we used to accept everything, right? So we had to provide gas and everything. We just simplified that. It's going to be bottles, right? You need to choose how many. You need to choose the size. You need one for each step of judging, which we'll talk through in a minute. It's normally at least 2 or 3 bottles. People get quite anal about it, so some competitions you can only have gold or silver caps, right? And some competitions you can't have any debossing on the bottle. I've sent them off to Croatia and they're like, we won't judge them because they think you've got maybe something on the bottle. So you have to decide what level of risk on you like you've got. We're pretty open. And there are some options I'll talk about in a minute. I'm blinding you a bit later. Right, how? So, first thing if you're setting it up is you need a way to provide some info to people and for people to enter, right? So there's a couple of different bits of software. You'll notice that just about everyone uses the free software, BCOEM it's called, for all the competitions.
Beer competition online entry and management.
a couple of others, but they're even uglier. It's quite, you need someone to host that for you. We pay someone from lab, we pay someone to host it for the whole year, so if anybody wants to sort of piggyback on that's fine. But that software's a little bit glitchy, does weird things, you have to kind of work your way around it, but much better than having a spreadsheet. If you're just doing an inter-club thing, you just have a spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's scale dependent. And you need to choose quite early on a bit about blinding and a bit about the labels that are on the beer, so we'll talk about that. We talked about receipt shipping. You need quite a bit of time between when you say people can finish entering and when you judge, right? Because you have to do all of the grouping. We're quite friendly at labs, so we will ring people up and go, you just put in an IPA called raspberry IPA, probably better in the fruit section, etc. So we try and iron out all of those things so everyone gets the best experience for the competition. That just takes a long time, and then you might have to print 1,000 pieces of paper. So it's just, with scale, that gets bigger. So always try and leave a couple of weeks, don't underestimate that. And then what's going to happen is the beers are going to arrive, the head judge is someone who's going to go and work out how to group them. So you've got a certain set of prizes, you're going to want to have roughly the same number of beers in each of the tables that you see. So Simon's got 18 or whatever. Somebody has to try and do that. You'll see 60 IPAs, how do you split them up? Right? You might only get 2 lagers. So somehow, you're never going to get it spot on, but you need to do something to do that. Key thing for a beer competition is blinding, right? So you'll see on, so what used to happen is you'd have an entry number, there's entry 4, right? Well, the judge might know that it's entry 4, so we put another number on, 782 on there. So during that entry process, we're deboxing it, we're looking at the label, we're taking that one off and putting a new number on that has to be the right number, we're getting someone to check all of that, so that when it gets to the judges' table, we've got no idea who it is, right? That's starting to simplify it a little bit. So you'll see on these labels, they just come with the entry number on, but it doesn't have your name or anything on. So you can just use that as a bit of risk that the judge might go, well, that's number 4, I know that's Fraser's, but the likelihood is it's probably not on that table, and a good judge would say, I'm not judging that if I've got anything.
Yeah, I think my experience of that is like any time, particularly the BJCP judges are taught that you judge blind. So the moment they figure out or they realise that this is somebody's beer and they know it, or they're told perhaps, they will generally recuse themselves and say, I'm not judging this. So most people are fairly good about it, so I guess we'll keep trying with these entry number labels for the time being because it does make logistically things a lot easier. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
Got one that isn't blind here.
Is it right to the £50 note?
The trouble with having a system where you have to take the number off and put another one on is if someone gets that wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you don't know whose beer is in which glass, you've lost. Right? So it's really key to do that. But there are some other things you can do, right? So you could just cover the beer, right? So you could have that if the steward knows whose that is, but he brings it round with a sheet around it to the judge. It doesn't matter. You could pour it into a jug beforehand and give it to the judge, right? If you've got a little competition, it doesn't matter. The judge doesn't know it is as long as the steward knows what they're doing. So you don't have to go through that. I think it's getting a little bit easier. Sometimes, people they've written AB or something on the cap, so we have to go through and scrub that out or put a sticker on, or if we're quite accepting of that, so if someone has got something and it's really obvious that it could be from someone, well, you lose a little bit because we pour it in the judge, we give that to the judge, and you've lost a bit of head and a bit of condition. So then you're going to serve it to the judge, right? So here's the bit that Charlie wants. The judge is then going to have to rank that beer, right? So if it's a simple competition, it might be, right, I've got the 10 beers that I want, I'm just going to rank them, job done, I'll pick the winner. In the BJCP way, you kind of go through it, you're giving feedback. What a gush. So your judge is going to go through and they're going to do it in a certain order. So first thing that goes is aroma. So the judge should get in there and sniff the aroma, because that first hit might give you an off flavour, you don't get later. Right? Then they can go through and do the tasting, having a look, smell it again, keep going as it warms up, smell it again. The smell piece changes a lot. You'll probably do that 3 or 4 times over. And then there's a bottom-up way of judging. So you're scoring each section and then you sum them all up, and then you do a bit of a check. Oh, I just scored that 40, but it wasn't really as good as a 40. Where did I go as well? Other judges will taste it, and that's a 40 beer, and then work the other way around. So there's different ways. And then there's a lot of, this is a, it's a sensory thing, right? So there are, people will be different, but there will be biases. Right? So think about an extreme. You sit down as a judge, they give you the best lager you've ever had. You score it 50, right? Wonderful. The next beer is even better. What do you do? Right? So your first beer, you aren't going to score 50. You can't do it because you've got nowhere to go. So where that set of judges goes is a little bit on their experience of that first beer. And if you've got big competition, and we've got 40 stouts as well, it's normally IPAs, 60 IPAs, you've got 4 sets of judges going. Well, that first one, they've started at sort of 20, these ones are going off at 30, these ones are going off at 40. They're all starting at different levels. And then as you go through the flight, your palate's going, you're changing. If you're on Imperial Stouts, you might be a bit squiffy by the end. If you're on IPAs, you probably can't smell any hops after a while. So everything's changing a little bit, right? So you're getting the feedback. One judge has scored it 42, but another judge might have scored it 34. So how do you get away from that and make sure the best beer wins? Well, if you've got 2 flights and you're awarding 3 medals, then you get those judges, they've ranked it all properly. They might go back and say, can you bring that first one back? I want to just check it now against the one I've just done. Yeah, these are the 3 I want to put forward. The other group will put 3 forward. And then we reblind them again. So we label them up A, B, C, D, and get those judges for even another set to come and go, which ones are better? Right? And it might be that that beer that that person had was desperate for a drink, right? At the beginning that he scored 40 is actually not that good, right? And the one that they drank and drank is. So that's why you might not, your high scoring beer that your mate scored less on that beat you, that's where that happens. But you can rest assured the best beer's won. That's what that's doing. The scoring bit's a good guide for you, right? And it helps the judge sort of pitch it, but at the end of the day, that ranking system has to come in. And then you put the best one of each table through to boss, and it's a similar thing that you blinded again, no one will know, and it's really just a ranking system. When you get to that part, you know, everybody should be judging. So when the judge is doing the first part, they're doing it very much to the style. Yeah, so you put a Guinness in, it might be a great beer, but it's not going to win if you put it in as a lager. That goes a little bit downhill as you get to the best beer at the end, right? Because they're really just trying to pick those out. After you've done the judging, so you've got all that, you've got your winners, you've done your boss, you've got to give the feedback to people. So the system that a lot of people use, you just use random sheets, people write the number on, you scan it in, you have to look at that scan, you have to rename that scan, put it back on the system, and then it ties the 2 up. And then when you go into the system, you see your feedback. Some people in the old days would just mail it to you. We use a little nifty barcode system, which means you have to make sure the judge judges it on the right thing, but we just scan them all in and the computer does the rest. And then you've got to do some awards and announcements. So that's it for running a competition. Why BJCP? A couple of things. If you want to do a BJCP, there's a set of standards, right? The BJCP work, the judges get points for judging. So you're likely to get more people to judge if you do a BJCP. But they have a list of things you must do if you are a BJCP competition, and they're really simple. The first one say the organiser is the person who decides and can throw out judges if they're not misbehaving or whatever, has overall control, right? The second part just is about fairness. It just says you've got to publish your rules in advance and don't change them while you're going on, right? The judging must be fair to all entrants. You must apply the rules, and they must be blinded. Yeah, they must be judged to published styles, but they don't have to be BJCP styles. They can be anyone's. You can make them up yourself beforehand. And it's got to taste like ESB. There you go. There's your style right here. You must have 2 judges, and you can't have more than 4. The judges must pick the best beers from those eligible, right? And you must give feedback. And then the only other things on here are keep to our privacy policy, don't mail all the entrants, everybody's emails, don't sell that information, and be open resource disability-wise and the like. And what they have is a 53-page competition handbook, which tells you all the things that I've just told you, right? Which I wish I'd looked at before I wrote my speech. Really, really. So I just thought I'd just end on what's worked for us as lab, right? Start small.
Yeah. I mean, don't think you need to start at 400 entries. Don't even think you need to start at 100 entries. Do 20, 30, something like that. Keep it inside your club. Just start off small so you learn the system, learn how it works, learn the general cadence of how things get judged, and yeah, learn to do it that way, and then build up from there.
Yeah, watch others, learn from others. Be clear, make decisions. Like homebrewers, it's like herding cats, right? You have to kind of just be quite firm and go, this is what we're doing. If you can do that bit I said earlier about linking a style or a date or getting something in, it just builds a bit of excitement around it, like Black Friday worked really well. Be really transparent about what you do and keep that integrity piece. So whenever we're doing something at lab, we'll have someone watch, right? I started setting up competitions because I wanted to win them. So I don't want to be at the end going, well, I've just run this and I've won all the prizes, and everyone go, yeah. So we always have someone else so that you can hand on heart say, this has been a fair competition. Treat the judges and stewards well. You want them to come back, so give them a bit of food. Yeah. Our budget, probably half our money goes on feeding the judges, and just keeping them happy so they come back.
Again, particularly the BJCP judges, they will get quite a few invited to judge around the country throughout the year. Once you're qualified, you go onto the list. When you register a competition, you get sent that list. So you then can go out and mail all the judges in the country or the world if you really want to, although that was slightly frowned upon, I think. But they will get a few invites for different things, so there can be a bit of judging fatigue. So treating the judges well, giving them food, giving them plenty of time to judge stuff properly will mean that they come back the next time and say, this is a great fun event, come back.
And expect people to need a lot of help, right? So I remember I couldn't understand the guidelines when I was first entering in the competition. It's my, expect people to put fruit beers in the wrong category. We like to try and help people. We want people to come away going, not coming away going, I just spent 10 quid and they just didn't judge it because I did it wrong. So, and the site's difficult to use, and things like that. So that's before. Afterwards, expect everyone to ask why their highest scoring beer didn't beat their mate's lowest scoring. And then, so, and just on a personal note then, so why, for me, they're good. So like I said, I started organising them because there weren't any enough to win, right? And I used to win, but I don't win anymore. One, I think it's really, I've got written there, I can't read what.
I mean, the one thing I always say to people, anybody that's thinking of running competition, I always say to the people that are potentially entering, it's a great way to get feedback on your beer. Yeah. The judges are judging it completely blind, they should be trained, they're judging it in ideal conditions, and they've not got any biases or preconceptions about that beer, they're just putting it down on paper as it is. So one of the selling points I've said to a lot of people is enter competitions because it will give you really good, honest feedback about the beer. You've not got somebody in the pub that's, is a friend and is blowing smoke up your arse, basically. Yeah. So
you're doing it to make people better. So, and for me, the joy when you see people winning and jumping up and down's been good. Nick's my favourite story, if I don't mind picking you. Nick entered some competitions for lagers, got some feedback, did something about it, got a little bit better, got some more feedback, did something about it, gets gold at the Nationals. So you're helping people make better beer. And there's always something surprising crops up, like the artwork for that is awesome that you've asked someone to do. Or once I got given some spirits, I helped a guy out from Lithuania or something getting his beer to the competition. He gave me some spirits that his granddad had distilled sort of 60 years ago. So there's always something.
That's why you remember.
That's why I leave.
Not very nice. Yeah, choose your malt sack.
Assuming there's time for questions. So I did put some beer in this time for the
first time. So how many people have judged? How many people have tasted those beers to kind of get to the final five on the each category?
So there's always two that will do that initial assessment, and then they'll go through to a mini boss. I think Simon does on a different day, so there's probably another 2 or 3 there. And then if you're winning, then there'll be another set doing boss. So it could be up to 6 or 7, which should be a minimum of 2.
Yeah, minimum 2. You get written feedback. BJCP style wise.
Nick?
Is there a general rule of thumb that you use to determine how many judges you need for how many beers you've got entered?
So, the judge should be able to do 8 flights in a couple of hours. If you ain't, after that they're going downhill.
So if we had 100 beers in the competition, you know where I'm going, sort of thing. What would you?
I mean, you've got to think that first of all, you need 2 judges for every beer. And as Lee said, in a session they can do anything from 6 to maybe 9 beers. It depends on the style. Imperial stouts, you don't want to do 10 imperial stouts in a row. Sour beers the same, it takes a bit longer. Once you get somebody onto a flight, say American Pale or American IPA, the judges can on bang through those 10 minutes apiece and can actually go through them fairly quickly, because it's the style of beer where you taste it, you kind of know where you're going to go with it. So it will vary a little bit, but if you start by that fact that per session the judges are going to do a maximum of 8 beers, maybe only 6 beers, and you need 2 judges per beer. Work out from there. If you're going to do a whole day competition, you could have a morning and an afternoon session. Might fit in 3 sessions, but by that point the judges are pretty pissed at the end of the day, so not the best. So maybe only 2 sessions a day.
And if you have a judging session a week beforehand, then you've got a week to pop it up.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, I need some help. Doing it all on one day, you've got to be really, really careful, like in London and South East.
Brewcon London was done quite well, and it was done on multiple days, and you can fit the entries with fewer number of judges.
Yeah.
The problem with that is you need to keep that venue then for
We're not lucky here anyway. As big as Brewcon, or any of the London and South East want to be 100 entries, 120 max.
You don't want to be getting to announcement time when you've only judged half the beers. But that's what it was like a couple of years back when we didn't have enough judges. You've got to let them out, some people won't turn up.
Yeah.
They'll have some emergency or something.
Just wondering what you think of the new score sheet.
Slider. I haven't used them. I quite like the slider option. I always feel a bit cheated if I get feedback and no one's written anything.
Yeah.
Because it's just too easy. I don't think they work when they come to sours, so they break down a little bit when it comes to that. But yeah, putting a mark rather than writing medium bit at the time.
It's got to be cooked to actually judge.
I noticed they have a little box for none that I didn't see ticked on some things. I think it might take a little bit while people get used to them, but I like half of it. I think it needs more writing.
I think that there's people have got to get used to them. I mean, it's one thing of just putting them on the slider, but I would like to see everybody making sure that they fill in something next to each slider basically as well.
When you organize a competition, let's say here in London and you have judges or council or whatever, who pays the expenses for the train tickets for the judge?
So who pays the judges?
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, we haven't had the money to pay them, which is the other reason we try and feed them. Because all those judges, they're paying for travel, they're taking some time out, so we try and do something like that.
Again, the main reason is make it fun for the judges. They want to come back to you, feed them well, treat them well, maybe give them a little gift at the end of the day.
They come on their proper expenses.
Yeah. So they'll be paying for themselves to come, but usually it's for a fun day. So you need to make sure it's a fun day.
Unless you want to start charging 20 quid an entry or something.
You want to come and judge?
I guess that's the end.